We all know the pressure of a job interview. You prep for what are your weaknesses, but what if the person interviewing you wasn't asking about you at all?
A dream job at a top firm in Silicon Valley turned into something else entirely. We're talking unmarked doors, coded questions, and a job offer that felt more like a test.
Today, we're not just learning English, we're revealing the hidden agenda behind the most common American interview phrases.
You might think you know how to answer, but trust us, you don't know what they're really listening for.
Welcome back to English Every Day with Podcast. I'm Daniel, and here is the phenomenal Sofia.
Hey everyone, we're thrilled you're joining us. Today we're diving into the high-stakes world of the American job interview, but with a twist. Think about sending that dream application, maybe to a tech company in Austin, Texas, or a historic firm in Boston, Massachusetts. You wait, and then the call comes.
Our central figure is Maya. She's aiming for a senior marketing strategist role at a highly secretive startup called Phoenix Innovations in Silicon Valley. She'd prepped everything. Then Mr. Harrison called.
Listen to how the pace immediately ramps up. This is a crucial listening exercise to recognize the language of pressure.
Hello, this is Maya Rodriguez.
Maya, excellent timing. We're actually skipping the phone screen entirely and want to fast track you. Can you make it for an in-person interview tomorrow at 9 a.m.?
Oh, tomorrow? So soon? I believe so, yes. Where is your office located again? I just need to check the commute from my area of San Francisco.
Not our main office, Maya. We're conducting this round at a discreet location, a private suite near the historic ferry building. Address will be sent via email. Just confirm you can make it. This opportunity is on a tight schedule and won't last.
Yes, I can make it. I'll be there.
Wonderful. See you then.
Wow, that's the language of controlled conversation. He gave her no time to think. For English learners, understanding this urgency vocabulary is key.
Let's break down the 3 power phrases he used to pressure her, to fast-track someone or something.
Meaning?
To accelerate the process, to skip normal steps. It implies urgency and exclusivity.
Example?
Because of her excellent resume, the company decided to fast-track her application.
Practice?
Say it with me. They want to fast-track the project.
To be on a tight schedule.
Meaning to have very little time, to be busy. It's used to push quick decisions.
Example?
I can't chat long. I'm on a tight schedule this afternoon.
Practice?
I'm on a tight schedule.
This opportunity won't last.
Meaning a chance you must take now or it will disappear. A classic tactic everywhere from Detroit to Silicon Valley.
Example?
The sale ends tomorrow. This opportunity won't last.
Practice.
The opportunity won't last.
Now, for the fluency builder, how to push back politely. You need to sound professional while buying yourself time. Fluency builder. I appreciate the urgency and I just need a moment to confirm. This phrase validates their schedule. I appreciate the urgency, but asserts your need. I just need a moment to confirm. Example. I appreciate the urgency and I just need a moment to confirm my travel time to the financial district. Practice, putting it together. Repeat after me. I appreciate the urgency, and I just need a moment to confirm the details. Maya, armed with just the address, arrives. The building is old, grand, and quiet. Nothing like the bustling startup culture she expected. She's nervous about that phrase, discreet location.
Why do they need this level of discretion? Is it about privacy, or perhaps something they don't want widely known? A job interview for a major role usually happens in a glass tower office in Chicago or Dallas. What do you think is happening?
Maya finds the plain, unmarked door, takes a deep breath, and knocks.
The door opens only a crack. Not Mr. Harrison. A woman named Claire, expressionless, gestures her in. The room is sparse, no typical office decor. Good morning. I'm Maya Rodriguez. I'm here to see Mr. Harrison.
Claire, please come in, Miss Rodriguez. We've been expecting you.
Maya steps inside. Mr. Harrison is sitting there, his smile gone. He's intense. And then comes the first question. It is about far more than marketing strategies.
Welcome, Maya. Let's get straight to it. Before we discuss your past experience, we need to know, what is your professional opinion on the security of public records in the state of Virginia?
Public records in Virginia? That's not a standard behavioral question, Daniel. That's a test designed to gauge not just her knowledge, but perhaps her connections.
What would you say? How does an answer about Virginia public records relate to marketing software in San Francisco? Maya is facing a linguistic trap. Join us right after the break because her answer and the language she uses will determine if she gets the job or she reveals too much.
Welcome back. That question is still hanging in the air. What is your professional opinion on the security of public records in the state of Virginia? Maya applied for marketing in San Francisco, and now she's facing a test about public policy in Virginia.
Maya needs to deliver an evasive answer that sounds intelligent but commits to nothing. This is high-level speaking fluency.
She needs to be thoughtful, measured, and extremely professional.
That's an interesting line of inquiry, Mr. Harrison. My background is primarily in consumer data acquisition here on the West Coast, specifically California. However, I have always maintained a broad perspective on compliance, especially regarding how major companies in Raleigh, North Carolina, and other East Coast hubs manage their data integrity.
That's commendable, but let's circle back to Virginia. Specifically, the vulnerability of information relating to, shall we say, licensing data near Richmond.
While I haven't focused my recent research on that specific state or the mechanisms in Richmond, I can speak to the underlying principle. My professional opinion is that any system, regardless of its location, is only as secure as its auditing process. Best practices, like regular external audits, the kind often mandated in key governmental cities like Washington, D.C., are non-negotiable for data custodianship.
Data custodianship. Very good, Maya. Let's shift gears.
That was phenomenal use of defensive professional English. This is high-value vocabulary you can use when you need to sound authoritative but lack specific details.
To maintain a broad perspective, meaning you understand the big picture but not the specific details. Example, I don't know the sales numbers, but I maintain a broad perspective on the market trends. Speaking practice, say it with me. I maintain a broad perspective. The underlying principle, meaning the basic fundamental rule that applies to all similar situations. Example, I can't comment on that specific case, but I can discuss the underlying principle of ethical leadership. Speaking practice, we must focus on the underlying principle. Data custodianship, meaning the responsibility for guarding and protecting data. Example, our company takes data custodianship seriously and adheres to all federal laws. Speaking practice, the responsibility lies with data custodianship.
Now for the fluency builder, a great phrase to gracefully change the subject. Let's circle back to, meaning a polite standard American phrase that means let's return to a previous topic. Example, that's a great point, but let's circle back to the budget. Practice putting it together. Repeat after me. Let's circle back to the responsibilities of the role.
Sophia, his next question wasn't about marketing, but about travel, specifically urgency and travel to the East Coast.
Maya, this role requires occasional travel. Specifically, we need to know your availability for urgent, unannounced trips to the East Coast. Say, a week in the vicinity of Miami, Florida, or perhaps Charlotte, North Carolina.
I'm fully available for a travel. I understand the demand. I can be on a flight from California within a few hours, if necessary.
Good. Now, when you travel to these East Coast cities, you will be expected to conduct specific site research. For example, if you were in Miami and your objective was to analyze the local real estate market, how many unique sources would you consult before presenting your summary?
Real estate market in Miami? For a tech startup in San Francisco? This is starting to sound less like an interview and more like a covert operational briefing.
Is the actual job not in marketing? What kind of operation sends a marketer on a real estate mission? Drop your theories in the comments.
And just as Maya started to formulate her answer, the unmarked door behind Mr. Harrison very slowly creaked open.
Neither Mr. Harrison nor Maya noticed, but someone is watching this entire performance. It's the CEO, Miss Vance.
Who is watching, and what is the language Maya uses now when the price of her answer is so high? We'll break down her professional vocabulary for analysis and information gathering right after the break. You won't want to miss the next word she says. Welcome back. The tension in that unmarked room in San Francisco is unbearable. Someone is watching. Mr. Harrison is waiting. And Maya has to answer an absurd question about analyzing the Miami real estate market for a marketing job.
She has to prove she can process complex information and synthesize data professionally. This is crucial for TOEFL and IELTS speaking components too. Maya needs language that demonstrates process, not just knowledge.
That's a fascinating, multifaceted assignment. To analyze a niche market like that in Miami, I would operate in 3 distinct phases. First, establishing baseline data from verified public sources. Think the Census Bureau or the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Second, I would cross-reference that with localized qualitative data, such as interviews with local real estate agents and community leaders in that area.
And the number of unique sources?
I would prioritize quality over quantity, sir. However, to ensure comprehensive validation, I would target a minimum of 7 unique, non-overlapping sources before reaching any definitive conclusion. The goal is to mitigate information asymmetry.
Mitigate information asymmetry.
Excellent. Let's pause and dissect those incredible phrases. These words move you from sounding like a student to a highly specialized professional ready for any major firm, whether in Boston or Chicago.
Distinct phases, meaning separate, clear stages in a process. It makes you sound organized and methodical. Example, the project requires 3 distinct phases: research, development, and launch. Speaking practice, say it with me. Distinct phases. To cross-reference, meaning to compare data from different sources to check for accuracy or consistency, a powerful verb in research and business. Example, we need to cross-reference the marketing data with the sales reports before the meeting. Speaking practice, I need to cross-reference the data. Mitigate information asymmetry, meaning to reduce the imbalance of knowledge between parties. This is high-level corporate language. Example, the new reporting system will mitigate information asymmetry between departments. Speaking practice, we must mitigate information asymmetry.
Maya passed a loyalty test. Her language showed she could be secretive and analytical. This brings us to a huge, unsettling truth in the American corporate landscape, especially when politics and business mix.
Why Virginia records? Many national defense and tech consulting firms have their headquarters right outside Washington, D.C. in Northern Virginia. This whole scenario smells like a test to see if Maya can work on a highly classified acquisition or project.
What if Phoenix Innovations isn't a startup? What if it's a shell company, a common concept used across Delaware and Nevada, set up to discreetly acquire a firm that handles sensitive state data? Maya just applied for marketing, but she's being hired for covert data intelligence. Is that ethical? Is that the American workplace you signed up for?
Remember, English learners, in a high-pressure interview, every word is a key. Maya's use of mitigate information asymmetry got her an invitation to a secret project.
Miss Vance, the CEO,
turns and walks silently out of the room. Mr. Harrison stands. The interview is over. Congratulations, Maya. You start Monday. Your flight details to Charlotte, North Carolina will be sent by 5 p.m.
He didn't offer a salary. He didn't discuss health benefits. Instead, he slid a plain white envelope across the table. Maya opened it. Inside wasn't a contract, but a bank check. The number was astronomical, more than she'd make in a year. But the memo line was completely blank.
$1 million check, a job that is clearly not marketing, and a silent observer. Maya has the ultimate power move. She can take the money and sign up for a career full of secrets, or she can ask the one question that will shut this whole operation down. What does she say? What is the final, most important question a fluent English speaker must ask when faced with an unmarked check and a blank memo line? Join us for the final segment of English Every Day with Podcast. A blank memo line. A massive check. A job that is clearly not marketing. Mr. Harrison is waiting for Maya to blink.
This is the ultimate test of her English-speaking confidence. She must maintain control and demand clarity without sounding accusatory. This is the language of professional self-protection.
Mr. Harrison, I deeply appreciate the confidence you and Ms. Vance have shown in my abilities, and this remuneration package is clearly exceptional. However, before I accept, I need to establish clarity regarding the scope of the role. Given the conversation about Virginia and Miami, I must ask, what is the primary responsibility this check is compensating me for?
The check is for your services to Phoenix Innovations, Maya. The details will be provided on a need-to-know basis. Confidentiality is paramount.
I understand the imperative for confidentiality. However, due to professional and legal compliance protocols, specifically those relating to taxation and reporting in my home state of California, I cannot accept a check with a blank purpose. I need a single, professional term for the memo line. Is this compensation for marketing strategy consultation, or is it for specialized research analysis?
Specialized research analysis. Is that sufficient, Maya?
That establishes the necessary professional parameters. Thank you, Mr. Harrison. I accept the offer.
What a power move! Maya took control using precision language. These words help you navigate complex systems, whether you're dealing with a bank in London or a contract in Texas.
To establish clarity, meaning to make sure everyone understands the facts completely. It's polite, but leaves no room for doubt. Before we move on, let's establish clarity on the project deadline. Speaking practice. Repeat. Say it firmly. I need to establish clarity. Compliance protocols, meaning the rules or procedures that must be followed to obey the law or company policy. This phrase shuts down any argument because it invokes rules, not feelings. Example: due to strict compliance protocols, we must submit this form by Monday. Speaking practice. Repeat. We follow all compliance protocols. To establish the necessary professional parameters, meaning to clearly define the acceptable boundaries and rules for a situation. This is a very high-level, formal closing phrase. Example: once we establish the necessary professional parameters, we can begin the negotiation. Speaking practice. Repeat. This establishes the necessary professional parameters.
Now, let's take the key phrases we learned from the evasion vocabulary to the finality language and combine them into a practical speech for a difficult situation, like asking your manager for a raise in Denver or pushing back on an unfair workload in Florida.
So imagine your boss just gave you a task you feel is outside your role. Listen to how you can speak confidently. I appreciate the urgency, but I just need a moment to establish clarity. I understand the underlying principle of this task, but I need to establish the necessary professional parameters to ensure I adhere to all internal compliance protocols.
See how powerful that is? You're using 3 sophisticated phrases, but in a completely calm, professional manner. That's true fluency.
Today, we didn't just learn English. We learned the language of high-stakes communication. We covered the urgency vocabulary, fast track, tight schedule, the evasion vocabulary, maintain a broad perspective, underlying principle, and the language of finality, establish clarity, compliance protocols.
But here's the final question, listeners. Maya is now employed as a specialized research analyst. Her first assignment is in Charlotte, North Carolina, and she knows the work involves questions about public records in Virginia. Did she make the right choice? Is this a genuine opportunity, or has she just accepted a job that will require her to become a data custodian of secrets?
What would you do with that unmarked check? Let us know in the comments. What is the first piece of specialized research Maya should conduct when she lands in Charlotte?
That's all the time we have for Job Interview Tips. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep learning English every day with Podcast.